What is good? What is good, everybody? It's your boy Cam. Tonight is game day for the Mavericks as they take on the Atlanta Hawks and they end up falling short to the Brooklyn Nets. And honestly, the Mavericks just they struggle from the free throw line. This is Anthony Davis's first bad game he had with the Mavericks ever since he got here. But in the Brooklyn Nets were just constantly making draining threes the other night. And but the good news is we end up getting Daniel Gafford back, but he's on minutes restriction just to avoid him getting injured even more. But I think he finished with 18 points that night, and he honestly was limping a lot in the fourth quarter. But it turns out he ended up being okay. But he gave the bench a thumbs up. He was good, but they decided to take him out, and I was like, for me, I wanted him out of there. But they had an opportunity to foul intentionally, but they chose not to. But you couldn't foul intentionally under 2 minutes, because if you foul intentionally, you go to the free throw line. But in the, I guess that they struggled just from the free throw line, probably the worst I've ever seen like all season this year. And the thing is, the Mavericks had a 10-point lead going in with like 8 minutes left, and they couldn't even score for the past 3 or 4 minutes. And Anthony Davis missed like both free throws at the free throw line. And we just got to do a better job hitting free throws tonight when we play the Hawks tonight. And I feel like we can win, but we just have to see. Like I said, it's the end of the season. Everybody's going to play their hearts out, because they're trying to finish the season strong. Even the teams who are tanking, they're trying to finish their season strong. And I do believe we'll make the play-in tournament. And another news is that Kevin Durant hurt his ankle. He's supposed to miss at least a week. And I just don't see the Suns making the playoffs now or making the play-in. It's just, the West is just too loaded. And there has been rumors that KD might come to the Mavericks. Or he may go to the Houston Rockets. He may go to Boston, but I seriously highly doubt that'll ever happen. They really don't need KD. Or he may go to Miami, or maybe New York. I don't know. I think it's almost time for Kevin Durant to just retire. Honestly, I just think it's almost time for him to hang it up. And I'm glad he got his 2 championship rings with the Warriors. He definitely deserved a ring and everything. But and that's another thing. What's going on is, I don't know what's up with John Morant right now. Apparently he just hasn't learned his lesson. He obviously just does not care, and I don't think the Memphis is the right place for him. So the other night against the Warriors, he did a gun gesture sign at the Warriors bench. It's like, well, and he's done that before. He did a gun celebration sign with at the Pelicans when they played at their place after he hit a game winner, and he already got in trouble twice waving a gun. He got the first time he got caught doing that was at I believe it was at a nightclub. Yes, it was at a nightclub, and then he got in trouble again for waving the gun in the car with his friend of his. And I hate to say this about Morant, he's not the true leader for the team in Memphis. He's not. He's just not a leader with the team. It's like, you the best player on the team. Everybody looking up to you. It's like, dude, you gotta stop this hood stuff. It's like, I mean, you grew up in a nice area in South Carolina. It's like, why are you basically gonna be wasting your money? You're probably gonna get suspended for so many games. You're gonna keep getting fined. It's like, is that what you want, dude? John, you gotta grow up, man. You gotta stop with this gun stuff. It's like, I don't know why you like to do that. It's like, you may be talented, you may have so much potential, but it's about the things that you really do off the court too. That's what's most important about him. I think that's what's most importantly about these players. They may have talent, but where are they like off the court? That's what's most importantly about this. And I excuse me. I just pray that he just gets his crap together, man. It's like, John Morant gotta stop this bullshit. And I just don't know what his deal is. I just don't know. And if he gets suspended for quite a while, this is gonna hurt the team going to the playoffs. Obviously, it's like he just doesn't care about the consequences, what could be. And also today is on Autism Awareness Day for me, and which is what Autism Awareness Day is like with people who have disabilities, with high functioning or low functioning, which is I've told y'all before, yes, I have autism and everything, and I was diagnosed with autism when I was 3 years old, and I didn't know I had it till I was 14, and which was really hard for me. It's still been pretty hard for me since then, but like I said, that doesn't stop me from podcasting about the Mavericks and other teams. This doesn't stop me from doing that. It doesn't even stop me from accomplishing goals in my life, and I am loved by, of course, by my family, especially my parents, and I'm loved by lots of my friends. And like I've been told this before, when I wake up in the morning, I like to look at myself in the mirror. I tell myself I am outstanding, and nobody what anybody else says. And I'm just grateful to have a lot of support around me, especially doing my podcast. And my biggest role model on YouTube was DFW Sports Raps, and he's the one that got me started with doing a podcast about sports, especially the Mavericks. And that's who got me started and everything. And I've been struggling with autism since I was little, and I still do today. And some people like tell me like when I tell some people autistic, people are get pretty surprised, and sometimes I don't feel comfortable telling people have autism, because you just never know who may judge you or not. And one thing is, not everybody in the whole world cares I have autism, but that's just how the world is. But I gotta be grateful that I have people in my life who actually do care. And the coolest thing about what I did in my life was I actually used to coach high school basketball. I was a volunteer assistant coach at Arlington High, and I remember being told by the head principal I was the first person ever with autism to volunteer with high school kids at the high school, like ever. And it was challenging. Having autism is very challenging because not everybody understands me with my struggles, but I have my parents do understand my struggles with autism, and sometimes I don't like loud noises, but overall I'm used to most loud noises, but it's all right. But like I said, autism does not stop me from being who I am, and it doesn't stop me from doing my podcast and doing anything in my life. But hopefully the Mavericks will win tonight. And I also want to talk about what's been going on in the NCAA Women's Final Four and the Men's Final Four. So all four number one seeds for the men's are playing the NCAA Final Four this year. This is the first time this happened since 2008. Since Kansas won the national title in 2008. That was the last time there was all four number one seeds playing in the Final Four. And for the women's NCAA Final Four, so UConn made it, Texas made it, and then UCLA, and then South Carolina. And honestly, those are going to be some good matchups. And this who I picked to win between South Carolina and Texas, I'm honestly going to pick Texas. I think they have a good chance to beat South Carolina. The way Texas played against TCU that Monday night was just they were the best defensive team I've ever seen all year. And that was the first time I watched Texas women's basketball team all year. I mean, it makes sense why they were the number one seed, and they forced a lot of turnovers on TCU that Monday night, and everybody else was struggling, and Haley Van Lith struggled too. But TCU's women's had a good year. They had a great season, and hopefully they have a good another good season going to next year. And now with UConn getting to play UCLA, that should be also a good matchup. And now is Paige could possibly have two more games with UConn, and then after that she'll be getting ready for the WNBA, and which is she's supposed to be getting drafted to the Dallas Wings. Can't wait to see her play in Dallas, and I just think once Arike and Paige figure out their chemistry together, I think they're going to be a big problem. They're going to be a problem playing. Once I think they'll be definitely one of the best scoring duos in the WNBA once they figure out the chemistry and everything. And I expect the first preseason game for the Dallas Wings to be sold out, honestly. And definitely can't wait to see Paige Beckers play in Dallas. And now and every year they host a Special Olympics unified game for the Dallas Wings. So I think there's gonna be more people gonna be playing it this year, like we've seen for quite a long time, just because everybody wants to meet and talk to Paige Beckers. Hell, I would love to meet and talk with her and everything. She could definitely be a good one of my good role models, and she's a believer of God just like I am, and I trust the I do focus on Jesus Christ and everything, and God has blessed me so much, and He definitely has a plan for my life, and yeah, but at the end of the day, I gotta put God in first before everything else. Sometimes like sports does take my time putting everything else in first, but at the end of the day, there's other things bigger in life that's important more than just sports. But doing my podcast keeps my things off other things that's off my mind and everything. But like I said, but I am a child of God, and I am healed by Jesus Christ, and I'm just thankful to still be here today, and God still has me here for a reason, and I just gotta keep praying every day, and trust the Lord with all your heart, and the Spirit and God is in my heart. I have to keep putting my trust in Him every day. But that includes my podcast today. Hopefully the Mavs will win tonight, and I will see you on the next podcast.